So much for listening to this episode of Earrings Off. We want to invite you to subscribe, rate, and leave us a review. You can find us on Facebook at Earrings Off Podcast and on Instagram at The Earrings Off Podcast.
Welcome to Earrings Off. I'm Lou.
And I'm Teresa. Let's get started.
Welcome to Earrings Off. In this episode, we delve deep into the fascinating world of career transitions and resume building. We will have an insightful discussion with Cheryl Polk, an expert in career coaching and recruiting. Cheryl shares valuable advice on how to pivot into a new industry mid-career, make your resume stand out to employers, handle tough interview questions, and stay competitive in a challenging job market. Whether you are a recent graduate or an experienced professional looking to make a change, this episode promises to provide you with practical tips and inspiration. Both Lou and I agree that this was an enlightening and thought-provoking conversation. Stay tuned and enjoy. Hello. Today on Earrings Off, we have with us Cheryl Polk. Cheryl, welcome.
Thank you, Teresa. Nice to be with you and Lou today.
Yes. Looking forward to the conversation. We're going to get right into this. Okay, what's your advice for someone looking to pivot into a new industry mid-career?
Great question. Well, I would say that first of all, to look at your transferable skills, things that you already have in your background. For example, I had a client who was in management for over 10 years, and we did his resume, and he initially thought that he wanted to continue in the same path. And he immediately got like 7 interviews, which was great. But during the interview process, he realized that he no longer wanted to be a manager. So he came back and he was like, okay, I decided I want to do something else. And so we looked at the things in his background, and he had a lot of training and development in his background. And so we totally redid his resume to tailor it towards that. And he ended up getting a job in that field. So that's the thing. A lot of times we have 2, 3, different other careers that we have in our backgrounds that we are not tapping into when we can, make that career pivot easily. So sometimes career pivots can be long and be a long-term goal, and sometimes they can be fairly quick.
Wow, that's really good.
Very good. So, Cheryl, tell us, how can job seekers make their resumes stand out to employers? Because that is a hard one. You want to be seen, you want to get that interview, you're trying to make that connection, and sometimes it's just so hard to get folks' attention. So help us with that.
Yes. So I do recruiting on the side. So I'm still out there making sure I stay on top of what's going on in industry trends. And so when I look at a resume, sometimes I see someone who's qualified and I would love to pass along, but their resume is awful. Sometimes they have spelling errors or formatting errors, sentence structure errors. And I will even ask the person, will you, please make this change? And they never even make the change. So that is so hard as a recruiter to have qualified people and not be able to pass them along. So I would say definitely make sure that is, aesthetically pleasing, that it looks nice and professional without any spelling errors. And then also make sure you highlight achievements. You don't want to just brand yourself as a doer. You want to brand yourself as an achiever as well. So any quantifiable data you can include would be great. Numbers, dollars, percentages. Like, for example, if you're a salesperson, you don't want to just say that, oh, you're in sales and business development. You want to mention, oh, I increased sales 10% in the last quarter. So, or I'm an award-winning sales leader. I've been in the top 10% of sales leaders for the past 10 years. You want to make sure you really have quantifiable data there to help you stand out.
That's a great point. Um, so would you advise someone to have that at the very beginning of their resume, those quantifiable points, or is it sprinkled throughout? How best to add those quantifiable that quantifiable data?
Well, it definitely, if you have enough to sprinkle it throughout, that definitely would be great, because you definitely want to have something there in that summary to catch their attention. And then definitely throughout each job description, try to be able to have some type of select highlights as far as how you made, the job better, how you increase the bottom line, how you decrease costs. If you brought in extra clients, any process improvements you might have made, because that's the thing. Not everyone has the type of position where you can put numbers, dollars, and percentages.
Right.
So the thing is, if you've made your job better any type of way by coming up with standard operating procedures or process improvements, any type of way that you did anything to make your job better than how it was when you began would be great to highlight.
I can actually see this working for someone who's looking to transition within the company that they're already in.
Yeah.
So if they're looking to move to a different position, they might update their resume in that way.
Yes, absolutely. Just like I tell people, pull out those old performance reviews. Those things often have things on there that we've forgotten about. And that's the thing. We do so much over the years that people don't write down what they've done, and then they actually forget. So that's the thing. Kind of keep a little journal every year of what you've done, and really make sure you write it down. So when it comes time for you to get your resume updated, you'll have it all there and ready to go.
That's a great point.
That is. And I have to tell you, Cheryl, you referenced something that was a pet peeve of mine. If I got a resume and those errors were all throughout it and the grammar, I'm telling you, it just, I couldn't move beyond that. I might have missed out on some great staff people, but that's just, I had to take that chance. It's like, if you don't care enough to make sure that this is correct, I really can't trust you with the task and the level of work that we do here. That just always bothered me.
Yes, so true. And you can't put detail oriented on your resume when you haven't taken care of the details.
Right. So true. Yeah.
That is true. What's the best way to handle tough questions in an interview?
Well, I would say, how for real estate, how they say location, 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 where here is preparation. So definitely make sure you're prepared. So things are a lot different now with interviewing. They have a lot more situation questions. So just making sure you have your stories. You know what they say, facts tell and stories sell. And so that's what you're there to do. You're there to sell yourself. So you want to make sure you have 2 to 3 stories about how you've improved something, or maybe challenges that you've overcome, something that you've done, like out of the box thinking type of problem solving you've done. So being able to clearly communicate that. And then a popular interview answer method now is the STAR method. So that's being able to set up the situation, and then the task, and then the action that you took, and then the results. So you definitely want to make sure you always end with something positive.
Okay. And, Cheryl, I saw something the other day that referenced how tough it is now, particularly for some of the younger job seekers in this competitive market, and was recently talking to a friend about her grandson who has done quite well in college, but is just having some challenges getting sort of getting in the door. So how can job seekers stay competitive in a challenging job market?
Yeah, so if you've been in the job market a while, sometimes you can kind of lose track of what's going on if you've been in the bubble of your 4 walls and been at the same company for a while. So the big thing is to make sure you stay on top of industry trends. You definitely want to make sure you stay on top of technology, and also how your industry, your field may be changing. Because oftentimes, the company can hire someone from outside who has what they call a fresh perspective, and they can get paid more money for doing the same thing that you're already doing. So you want to make sure that, you research, see if there's any new certifications for your field, extra training. So that way you can show your employer that, hey, I am growing with my job. And then, that way also too, that's also beneficial if you need to ask for a promotion and that type of thing. You want to always show that you are teachable and that you're always open to learning and growing and being on top of what's next. So you can continue to innovate within your field and within your company.
Yeah, that's so true. And I know when I used to mentor people that that were in my field or that I would work with occasionally, I would sometimes see, particularly, I hate to stereotype, but sometimes females, we are so reluctant to tout our skills, to just be a bit bold and say what we're capable of. And that was another pet peeve of mine. You can see I had quite a few, but that was another one that, you've done all of these, you've done all of this work, you've got the credentials, but I don't want to say it wasn't confidence. It was just sort of the way our culture, the way they were trained that, well, that's boastful. I don't want to appear arrogant. But sometimes you're just going to have to step out there and be very clear about what your skills are and what you're going to bring to the table. Because if you don't, then how are people going to know, that you're going to be the fit in that particular role? So I think sometimes we have to be a bit more bold when we're in the job market. Yeah.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. You're right. That's definitely, your resume is not the time to want to be modest. That's the time.
Exactly. Exactly. You said it far better than I did, Cheryl, but that was my point. Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah. So, with, the aging population right now, and unfortunately, with that, so many people aren't prepared to retire, right?
Right.
So when is it too late to transition into a new career?
It is never too late. Never too late to find something that you like to do and something that can give you more work-life balance and something that can help you have the lifestyle that you want to have. Quite frequently, I work with people who have even retired and they've decided to go back into the workforce for like you say, even they might realize, oh, I didn't really have as much money to retire. I'm not able to live the lifestyle that I wanted to, and they decide to go back, or they just, really enjoy working. And then sometimes they don't want to go back doing the same thing that they've already done. So that's where we really help them to discover other things that they enjoy doing and that, that they're good at. And one of the big things is, what do people come to you for? A lot of times people come to us for certain things. We have certain patterns that have been going on in our lives that can lead us into the career that we're meant to have that we totally dismiss. And so that's the thing. It's okay to ask somebody for help because sometimes, we can ask those questions to help people dig deep and reflect when they're not able to do that. So that's the thing. Never being, ashamed to ask for help and knowing that, yes, you can make that change at any time. It's never too late.
Okay.
Wow. Cheryl, how should a recent high school graduate or college student choose a major? This is one I'm interested in because for some reason in undergrad, I thought psychology was a good idea. So anyway, that's just my story. But so how should a recent high school graduate or college student choose a major? How do they go about that?
Yes. First of all, I would like to give a note to the parents and say that we have to take off this pressure. A lot of times when we speak to our kids, we have them believe that this is the one big thing that they're going to choose and they're going to do it for the rest of their lives.
Oh, and it's a lot of pressure.
Right, it is
That's
a lot of pressure, and that's nerve-wracking. I mean, can
Yeah.
you imagine having to
Yeah.
make that decision? Like,
Yeah.
like, what am I going to say? And so the
Yeah.
thing is, I help with people 30, 40, 50 years old. Every day I work with people who are still trying to figure out what they want to be when they grow up.
Yeah.
So that's the thing. Take the pressure off. And then knowing that this is just career one. Most people change their careers at least 4 to 5 times. And so I told my kids, this is just career one. And they were able to pick something easily. They finished, they did not change their major, and they're working in their field, knowing that, hey, if I decide to change, it's totally okay. So that's definitely the first thing, taking that pressure off. And then also too, getting them to do the research. You know, sometimes we can pick a major and the requirements for the major are different according to the school. Like my
So
son,
true.
my
Yeah.
son is in international business, but he actually he hated foreign languages. So we
Mhm.
actually chose a program that did not require him to have a foreign language and
Yeah.
take a foreign language. And but yet he has an international business
Yeah.
degree. And so so that's the thing. And then also too, some schools might require you to take higher level math, you know, pre-calculus or calculus when that's not really your thing and it's not even related to
Yeah.
what you're going to do. So just making sure you really do that research to choose the schools that you can really have the greater chance of success at.
That's some
Yeah.
really good advice. I
Excellent
like
advice.
that.
Mhm.
So, Cheryl, we've reached the last of our questions. Do you have any parting words that you'd like to leave with our audience?
Yeah, so we talked about the importance of having a great resume earlier, and I do, because I'm so passionate about this, I give free resume reviews. And so
Mhm.
they can go to my website, that's excel-resumes.com, and go to the contact us page, and they can upload their resume, and I'll give them a list of things that they can change and improve. If it's great, I'm honest, I'll say, hey, this is great, you're ready to go. But if not, at least you'll have something there. So that's what I would say. Yeah, excel-resumes.com. And then also too, I'm on LinkedIn because that's the number one place where recruiters are looking for for candidates. So and I'm career coach Cheryl P. That's CHERYL, career coach Cheryl P. out on LinkedIn.
Very good. Thank you so much for this service. I mean, it's really much needed, especially for the both ends of the spectrum, right?
Mm-hmm.
The aging population as well as the young people who are just getting started in their careers. And thank you so much for offering that. I hope that you don't regret saying that you do the free reviews. Actually, I really do hope that you regret it. I hope people will take advantage of it, you know, and upload
Yes.
their resume and get this great advice that you're offering. Again, thank you so much for coming on Earrings Off. We really enjoyed chatting with you, and we wish you all the best.
Thank you so much for having me. I enjoyed it.
All right.